Hi everyone. How are we all doing today? I hope we're all doing well. I, for one, your chest hurts. Oh no. Well, I hope you get the chance to rest and hopefully recover. You're motivated. I'm juggling this emote. I'm gonna keep it there. I'm not gonna lose it. No. How have I been today? I've been doing pretty well. Um my partner made chili for us both yesterday, which was very delicious. Um and I have some plans to go see my father over the weekend, which I'm really looking forward to. I don't want to get too into the weeds on that, but he was he was on a trip to, oh my goodness, we're cozy mode already. He was on a trip to Alaska when he fell rather ill. Um and so he ended up in the ICU in Alaska for a while, which not ideal. Um but he recently got he's doing better. He's getting better. He's well enough that they were able to transfer him to a closer hospital. And so I'm going to be visiting him this weekend. I'm really looking forward to that. Can finally give him the Christmas present that I got him ages ago. I do have some pretty exciting news for you all. I do. First off, I got some things recently. I got a pop filter for my microphone. Um so there's this little foam thing over the top of the microphone now, and hopefully it should help with the audio quality just a little bit. It should make it so I can do nice up close things like this without having to worry as much. It does also mean that now if I rub against the microphone, it sounds kind of like this. It's very much changed the scritchy nature of the mic. And of course, if I want to get that old sound quality back, I can always take it off. In a similar vein, I got something else new that's very exciting. I got ear picks, like actual proper ones with the fuzzy ends, and the little scraper on the other side. And so I can just rub the fuzzy against the mic now. I'm always a fan of ear cleaning audio. um, I admit, okay, and I want to be fully transparent with this. Um, the series that ended up being my most popular on YouTube was the Elf Neighbor series, right? Um, and you know, elf neighbor thinks your ears are weird, all those videos. Far and away my most successful audios, and they were very inspired by a creator called Gentle GF ASMR, who I highly recommend looking into. She's very talented, and she does a lot of elf ear cleaning audios as well. And I tell you what, those audios they hit different. They do. The ear cleaning triggers are so good. um and so, oh god, yes, her cat girls as well. They're adorable. If you haven't watched Gentle GF, I highly recommend looking into her work, especially if you liked my Elf Neighbor series. Um, I'm gonna be honest, if the ear picks had arrived in time for the Elf Mage audio that I recorded recently, I probably would have used them in that too. Elves are just my way of justifying cleaning people's ears. Um, so yeah, I have some new tools. I have some new stuff, which means we can play around in some fun ways going forwards, right? Um, with all that being said, we're now roughly at the point in the audio where I'm open to suggestions. Anyone who has any ideas for what they would like to hear, you feel free to just send it in chat, and I will create a poll for you all, where you can vote on what it is I'm going to be doing today. You can either suggest specific triggers that you'd like to play with for a while, or any roleplay scenario that you'd like. Bah. Which brews you coffee? So what would that be? Some stirring sounds, some liquid pouring sounds. I would have to step out and grab some supplies for that, but it could be fun. Let's see. New poll. So, first option we have is which makes coffee. Could I try topping the mic with and without the pop filter to see the difference? Absolutely. Oh, Para, I do like that idea. Having said that, I haven't played Silk Song. I haven't even finished the original Hollow Knight. Alright, here's what a little tap sounds like with the pop filter. Tappa, tappa, tappa. Tappa, tappa, tappa. And I'm gonna try and very quietly remove that pop filter. And now I am tapping without it. Puppy listener gets comforted at the vent. That could be fun. I love puppy listeners. I like getting to call you all puppy. Puppy at vet. got a little frog in my throat today, apparently. Which means I gotta dink my oiter. You gotta make sure you stay hydrated. I is Hollow Knight considered a Metroidvania? It feels like it is. I've not really played a lot of Metroidvanias in my day. I think the only Metroidvania that I've actually beaten would be Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Which is very much a Metroidvania. It was a game made by an old Castlevania dev, so it was a fun one. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I just haven't. Sorry, I remembered I had my coffee. It's really fun. I like the kicking weapons in Bloodstained. They're very fun. Yeah, I've wanted to play. I own the original Hollow Knight. I just haven't played it. I really want to. I think it'd be fun. So there. Maybe I will do it on stream sometime. Just try and stop me. Interesting idea. Artist work. Okay. No, I can see exactly how that would work, Farah. I have plans for that. If we end up voting for that one. Hollow Knight is fun, but I'm so bad at it. that's just kind of how. That's just kind of how games like that are, or so I've gathered. all right, Night Owl. You gonna? Oh, oh, yeah. I see. Do you want to come up? Do you want to come say hi? People like your purring ASMR. Oh no, he's just moving to his chair. He has a chair. He has some opinions. He doesn't like it when I talk too much, which, you know, kind of sucks for him when I'm streaming. Grumpy lad just wants his chair. Yeah. He's very judgmental, I found. He's looking at me right now. He's just sitting in his chair and looking at me. I don't know what he wants. I'm kind of scared. I mean at this point, I feel like he's my co-star, right? Like he's single-handedly responsible for most of my success, honestly. Like he helped me draft the Tachyon script, definitely. He was there in the writer's room for that one. He's a very talented writer. He's union as well. So what is he doing? Sir, Sir. Sir, what are you getting up to on that chair? You wanna come here? You can make the jump. I know you can. You can make the jump. Come on. There's my buddy. There he is. Can you hear his little purrs? Can you hear him sniffing the mic? Hi, bud. Yeah, buddy. You give them some good ASMR, okay? The people love you. The people love you, Raph. You wanna come here? You wanna come to the other side of the mic? Yeah. What are you doing? What did you do? How did you shrink me? How did you shrink? No, don't touch my ear picks. Don't, no, this is not a toy. The ear pick is not a toy. Don't shove your butt against the mic either. Buddy. Buddy. I got some quality ASMR for you today, courtesy of my son. Don't you dare touch my ear picks. Don't put it in your mouth. Do not put it in your mouth. Don't touch my coffee either. He's helping, but he's also such a problem. Sir. Sir. He is incredibly large, by the way. Like, not sure what kind of cat he is, but I think he's well, he's licking me right now. We think he might be part Maine Coon. Because he's a very large cat, and he has these big old mousing paws. You think the way I involve Rav in the ASMR when he invades is smooth? It isn't always. There are times when I've had to cut it out, when like I can't justify a cat being in the scene. But I mean, the fact is, the vast majority of the ASMR that I make is improvised. Before I make the audio, I come up with a rough idea of where I want it to go and what triggers I'd like to use. And then I just kind of riff on it. And so rarely do I know exactly what's going to happen during an audio, and so I kind of just accept that, like, you know, the boy might show up sometimes. Ravioli is he's about 13 pounds. He does not look like a 13-pound cat. He looks perfectly healthy, and it's just because he is long. It is a hefty piece of pasta. We want to take him in for a checkup soon. He's gonna go see the vet soon. And they're gonna call him fat again because even though he's part Maine Coon, he's not all Maine Coon. And so they base their judgments of his weight off of normal cats. It's just the same cat wandering in. That's very silly. He's just strong. He's just strong. He's strong and he is long. And floppy. He's a floppy pasta boy. Alright, so we currently have 3 suggestions in the poll. Does anyone else have any other ideas they'd like to add in? No, 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 no. Excuse me. Twitch. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon, Twitch. Okay, so Twitch is saying it's going to give an ad break soon. I specifically turned off mid-roll ads for this stream. So we're gonna see if that actually ends up happening. I'm gonna hope that it doesn't. It might be because I tweaked the setting after I started streaming. We're gonna see though. We're gonna see if it ends up hitting you with ads. If it does, I'm going to cry, probably. I'll probably cry. Alright, well, I'm going to open up the poll, and you all can go ahead and place your votes. Let's see. So that poll should open up, I think. Except it doesn't look like it has. Twitch is behaving a little bit strangely, isn't it? There should not be ads, Twitch. First off. Second off, the poll should have it should have is the new Patreon audio supposed to be not downloadable because I can't download it? I didn't know people were downloading my audios at all, to be honest. Okay, the poll does not seem to be. Oh, and then of course it went through at the last second. Okay, I'm so very sorry. So we have witchy coffee. We have, let's see, was Puppy Vet, Puppy Listener at the Vet. And then the last one, let's see, what was the last concept that got suggested today? Ah, yes, the living art. There we go. Okay, hopefully that should be working now. Yes, it is. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, I can probably make a little adjustment to the latest audio if you want. I do think I uploaded it in a slightly different way from normal. So, I can tweak that. I think. Hopefully. Yeah. You know, Twitch as a platform is certainly something. This is some solid coffee, I gotta say. Some nice cold brew. Alright. So, Twitch says ad break in 20 seconds. I'm gonna seriously hope that it doesn't. Are we talking about shaving? Oh my goodness, oh my... Oh. Yes, Rav, I'm screaming too, internally, because I have to be quiet now, because this is an ASMR stream. Y'all, y'all, you can't keep doing this. You can't keep doing this. Thank you, Dill, Jesus. You're too nice. Who is Ad and why does she have to interrupt everything? If Ad was a beautiful woman, maybe I would forgive her. Relaxing ASMR screaming when? Well, I can hit you with that right now. I can hit you with that right now if you want. Check it out. Okay. Okay, so we have a puppy listener going to the vet. Sounds good to me, boss. Sounds wonderful to me. I know, no. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? Oh my goodness. Thank you. You don't have to keep doing this. I promise. Thank you. Whoa. Everything's fine. Head patting me. Oy. Sorry, I just dropped something slightly. Okay. So if we're doing puppy ASMR, yeah, I just accidentally knocked over a couple books. The first step to puppy vet ASMR is I gotta get my gloves. and then I'm thinking I'll grab this. And a little pencil. Probably make more sense to use a pen, but we're working with the supplies we have right now. I'm also still in shock. I'm trying not to think about it too much right now. Let's see. Maybe. Okay. Okay. All right. think I have my chosen tools. So I should actually, before I do the thing, I will pop on over here. Please filter anything made with AI. Because that's... Thank you for becoming a fairy, Sarah. Thank you so much. Sorry, I was looking for a good background image for a vet's office, right? Maybe I'll put, yeah, I'll type that in. What? Head pat. Well, I appreciate this particular website. Lets you filter AI results. Of course, that is still dependent on people choosing to label their AI work, which they don't always, but it's better than nothing. I think what really gets to me is that AI had potential as a tool, but instead of using it for the things that it could have actually improved society with, we used it to try and replace human creativity and spread misinformation. And I think that's such a shame. Okay, so first off, the first thing that popped up when I searched vet was this, and I just look at that kitty, look at that kitty. Behold. That's not the background image we're gonna use. It made me so happy. Ooh. Oh, this big image. It's a very large image. Oh god. Oh god, how big is this image? Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I gotta just real quick make like an edit. Like there really are good ways to use AI. Like I remember one way that was initially being talked about was like for like disease screening of some kind. I don't remember the specifics, but it was gonna be for like disease screening, and I was actually gonna, you know, ideally do something good. There we go, that's better. Because it could be used for like broad pattern recognition. That's what large learning algorithms are good for, is taking a big set of data and recognizing patterns. And so they could feed data into it, and it could give an estimate on whether something is worth being concerned over. And then anything that it flags is then reviewed by a person, right? And that was genuinely like, okay, that's pretty neat. it's pretty neat that it might be usable in that circumstance. No. No, instead it's let me just type in, oh yeah, give me art of Zaya League of Legends with massive honkers. That's what I need. And again, I'm Gah, gah. And I'm not this feels awkward to say at this time. Um I'm not against, someone getting art of Zaya with massive honkers. I think that's great, honestly. But like, if you have the passion for massive booba League of Legends characters, maybe draw them. Or maybe pay someone else to do it. if you're frankly, if you aren't willing to put in the effort, if you aren't willing to put in the effort for art of a collie as wide as she is tall, if you're not willing to put in the effort for it, if you're just going to have some AI do it for you, you are not pure of heart enough. You are not whimsical of spirit enough to truly be worthy of this spicy art. There's my okay. Right, we're here for ASMR. We're here for ASMR. We're here for Puppy. We're here for Puppy. Hello, Puppy. You're the puppy. Hi. Alright, so I gotta lock in. I gotta get into character. Alright? This is gonna be great. Alright. So, how are we feeling today? I know you've been on Puppyification HRT for a while. That's very exciting. But of course, that does mean that at this point, it's about time for your first veterinary appointment. Obviously, as a puppy person, you unfortunately require some specialized medical care, which unfortunately neither a vet or a traditional physician can take care of on their own. But that's why I'm here, to help you out and to make sure you're all healthy, okay? So this is your first veterinary appointment, yes? In that case, I'm going to need to make a file for you in our system. Okay. So if you would just be willing to answer a couple questions for me, it'll make this whole process go nice and smooth, okay? So to start with, let me just verify your name. There are treats in my desk. You can have one later if you behave yourself, okay? Alright. Name does match up with what we have in our system, so that's wonderful. Moving on, next question is going to be how long have you been on puppy HRT? Okay, that tracks. About 6 months is usually around when you would have your first veterinary appointment. So I'm glad to see you're handling everything exactly how you should. If I could just get your date of birth. Okay. That's perfect. Now, have you experienced anything unusual or uncomfortable or painful? Are you noticing anything that lies outside your expectations for puppy HRT? Anything like that at all? Okay. You have an itchy tailbone? Alright, well, that is, that is very much within expectations. Obviously, I am not an endocrinologist, so that lies a little bit outside of my specialty, but typically tail growth is accompanied by some pain and an itching sensation. You're very much early enough in the process that your tail is still growing, so don't worry about that. It'll get longer and fluffier with time, alright? You're still very early on. I must say, your ears are looking very cute. They're coming along really, really nicely. Now then, next up, what I'm going to be doing, okay, is I'm going to have to inspect mostly just the various aspects of your puppy anatomy, okay? And so I'm going to put on some gloves, and then I'm very gently going to take a look at your ears. I'm going to take a look at your tail, and then if it's all right with you, I will be drawing some blood and just performing some simple checks, okay? Okay. What do the gloves smell like? Well, I've never sniffed them myself, but I haven't gotten any complaints. All right. Now I'm just going to start very gently. I'm going to take a look inside your ear, okay? So I'm going to just have to grab this ear right over here. Okay. I'm going to shine a little light in there, okay? Mm-hmm. This definitely looks like it's developing very well. Have you noticed any significant changes to your hearing? I know that when your ear first starts changing in shape, that it can cause some amount of impairment, but that obviously fades with time. Everything sounds so much louder now. Mm-hmm. Alright, I'm going to check your other ear. Now, one thing that I would definitely recommend looking into, because overstimulation from noise is a pretty common struggle that a lot of puppy folks have to deal with. Mm-hmm. So, I might suggest trying to find a place where things like fireworks aren't so common, and to own a pair of earmuffs, okay? Conventional earplugs don't really work quite so well with puppy ears, but if you wear earmuffs in a certain way, they can help reduce some of that noise. So, on particularly difficult sensory days, that can help you out. Alright? Okay. Now, how has your sense of smell developed since you started Puppy HRT? I imagine it's pretty sensitive at this point. Everything smells like food. Are you sure that everything does? Everything smells like food. Mm. You've been getting hungry more quickly. Well, that's sort of to be expected. It's not universal, but many puppies do experience heightened metabolism, and that is just kind of par for the course when you develop this higher level of activity, which a lot of puppies tend to. They typically become very, very high energy, you know. Now, I'm just going to take a couple notes on some of my observations from looking into your ears, okay? Mm-hmm. You've been getting irrationally angry at squirrels lately. Well, that's no good. I happen to have a squirrel girl patient that will be arriving very soon. I'm gonna need you to behave yourself when that happens, alright? If you're mean or rude to that squirrel girl, you're not getting a treat, okay? You might be a puppy, but you're a puppy person, okay? And that means that I can hold you accountable if you make that squirrel girl uncomfortable, okay? So, do you promise me that you're going to be nice? You need to promise me that you're going to be nice, you're going to be polite, and you're not going to scare the squirrel girl. If you promise me that, then you'll get your treat, okay? Okay. Now then, I'm going to start examining your tail a little bit. I'll give it a little brush as well if you want. And while I do that, I'm going to ask you about some of the less frequent but still occasionally reported changes that that puppy people tend to experience, all right? So I'll just start brushing out your tail. Now, have you noticed any changes to your hands, your feet, or your nails? Anything that makes you wonder whether they're becoming more paw-like or more claw-like? Your nails are a little sharper. They make tappy noises. You make tappy noises when you walk barefoot. All right. Now, some of these changes are not desirable to every patient that goes through this process. It really depends on what you personally are looking for, all right? We have a lot of patients who are mostly looking for kimono mimi features, animal ears, tails sometimes, things like that. And there are some who are looking for more drastic changes. It's very important that you consider what it is that you're looking for, all right? If you find these changes to be pleasant or satisfactory, then you can absolutely keep them and continue on your current course. If you would prefer to avoid them, though, there are courses of action that we can take. Additionally, have you noticed any increase in body hair, or perhaps body hair growing in places where it typically wouldn't? All right. It sounds to me like you've been taking to the puppy therapy extremely well. Well, similar to the paws and the claws, this is also something that we can consider continuing to pursue, or we can consider tailoring your regimen and your treatment to prevent it, depending on what you would prefer. Lastly, have you noticed any significant changes to your facial structure, to your teeth, or to anything of that sort? Have you noticed the development of a muzzle? Do your teeth look more carnivorous now? If so, I might have to take a look inside your mouth just to check up on your dental hygiene. The basic principles are very similar between human and animal dentistry, but teeth feel a bit sharper and you can see your nose more clearly. Okay. Well, in that case, let me just put my gloves back on. I'm going to need you to open wide for me, okay? I'm just going to take a look inside your mouth real quick, okay? Okay. It does look like your jaw is indeed changing in shape. It's very minor at this point. Developments and changes to bone structure tend to take a while. But it is happening. Your teeth, especially. Those are some pretty impressive canines, which, considering what you are, I guess shouldn't be that surprising. All right. It does look like your dental health is about where it was before. When caring for an ordinary puppy, it can be a little bit more difficult to keep track of that sort of thing. But you are, of course, very fortunate because you can brush your teeth. So, just make sure you keep doing that, okay? And everything should be just fine. All right. Well, I would say we're looking pretty good. Your changes are coming along very nicely. And all of your puppy parts seem to be perfectly healthy. All right? So I'll just go ahead and take a few more little notes. And oh, okay. I need you to listen to me very closely right now, okay? The squirrel girl has arrived. All right? The squirrel girl is currently in the waiting room. So you are going to behave with dignity and respect, and you're not going to scare her, okay? You're going to stay nice and chill, nice and relaxed. Because she deserves to feel safe and comfortable here just like you, okay? All right. So, looks like you're all set. I'm just going to grab a little treat out of my desk for you. And I'm going to ask you to follow me out. And once we're outside, if you behaved nicely, you can have this, okay? All right. Good puppy. Very good puppy. There we go. That one was fun. That was very fun. It's been a while since I've done vet ASMR. I always think it's super fun. I really appreciated all of the lock in. You're all very silly, goofy. Good news, by the way. It looks like we did, in fact, avoid the ads. It looks like we were lucky enough that the ads did not strike. Oh, thank you for the follow. Can I cuddle with you? Hello, hello, hello. So yeah, my guess is that since I told it not to schedule ads when I had already started stream, Twitch got confused and was like, I've already scheduled the ad, so I'll warn you that it's the scheduled time for the ad, but I won't play it. Lady Luck is on all our sides. You know, I've never actually watched JoJo. I have some friends who are big JoJo fans, but I have not. I have not watched it personally. Does that make me a fake weeb? I feel like it doesn't. I watch enough stuff. I watch enough of my own. So I've heard. I've actually been reading the Chainsaw Man manga lately. I say reading. I finished now because the manga finished. I don't know if any of you are big Chainsaw Man fans. Fujimoto. I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna spoil it because the anime is miles away from this. Fujimoto. What were you doing? What were we doing, Fujimoto? What was... We had a good thing, Fujimoto. We had a good thing, man. What did you do? I have very complicated feelings about the ending. It feels kind of bittersweet to me, but also... You know it only happened that way because he wrote himself into a corner. I used to be very, very, very judgmental about anime and manga when I was in like middle school. Because I was very much of the opinion that like cartoons are for kids, anime's weird, whatever. But it was actually my father who convinced me otherwise. I have not actually. It is on my list though. Dragon Maid is on my list. What ended up happening actually is my older sister and I were both very much like, oh, cartoons are childish, whatever. And we're like in middle school, both of us. And our dad is like, I can't accept this. I can't accept my kids thinking this way. That's not okay. That's not right. And he had like box set DVDs of Cowboy Bebop. And so my first anime was when my father sat my sister and I down and made us watch Cowboy Bebop with him. And wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? It was really good. It was really, really good. It was so good. Yeah, then I became a big anime person. My stepmother also was involved in getting me into anime. She had the DVDs for Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040, which is significantly lesser known, and I will say probably from an objective standpoint not as good as Cowboy Bebop. but I'm still a fan. I love Bubblegum Crisis. It's a good show. And then, I watched some bad shows because I was a middle schooler and had no taste. I watched Sword Art Online. I did. I watched Attack on Titan. No. um these days I don't watch as much shonen as I used to. Um I'm a fan of Chainsaw Man because Fujimoto, regardless of all of his flaws and all of his everything, Fujimoto writes women who are actually characters. The character of Denji does not necessarily treat women as people, but Fujimoto, the writer, does. And I think that's interesting. I think it's interesting to have a protagonist who is maybe a little bit objectifying of women, but to have the story prove him wrong over and over and over again, right? To have lesbianism. We have some lesbianism in that series. Anyways, we did have a Rav Smooch redeem, so I will be right back. I love her. I love her Asanasura. I love her so much. Sorry, the people demand a smooch. The people demand a smooch. Okay. I have brought him over. I have brought you all the boy. Okay, buddy, okay. He was not in the mood for a smooching today. I am of course open to new ASMR suggestions while we continue to have our little yap session. But yeah, that's kind of the thing that drove me away from most shonen. Lamia ASMR? I would be down for that. I think didn't I make Genji ASMR at some point? No, I considered it. Or hold on. Okay. I know I was considering it for a while. I guess I never ended up doing it. Let's see. So we have a new poll. Second audio of the day. Living art. We have Lamia ASMR as an idea. And okay. I would have to make food for the well, realistically, if you were one of her girlfriends having dinner with her, you would probably be eating a person. Or blood, I guess. She is a notable monster lover. She is a character from Chainsaw Man. She is a lesbian. She is one of the strongest characters in the show. And she has several girlfriends, none of whom are are human. They are what are known as fiends, which are devils that have possessed human people. And so have some kind of non-human abnormality on their heads. That's the thing that lets you identify a fiend. And Chunchi, very notably, is someone who is predominantly attracted to fiends. She's attracted to women. She's explicitly attracted to women. And fiends especially. Like there's a moment where she's completely thrashed the main cast of the show. And she talks about how she might be willing to let Power live because Power is her type. Because Power is a fiend. Yeah, I would love to show you all the scene in which she's introduced, but alas, Twitch would kill me on the spot if I did. Heard of, but not familiar, Asanasura. I've not taken the time to read Fire Punch myself. Hello, Sky. Hello, hello, hello. I go boo to you. Yeah, you know, she's first introduced in bed with all of her fiends. And so, if I were just to show the manga panels that she's introduced, no, Twitch would take me out. They would take me to a farm, a happy farm with all the other streamers, all my friends. It is hot when a lady does it. Here's the thing. There are certain things that, like, broadly speaking, might be sexist. But if someone who's not a man does it, then it's like, I don't know. My partner called me their trophy wife at some point. And it most assuredly did something to me. It made my heart go doki doki, if you will. Yeah, we were just out for drinks with some friends, and they talked about wanting to make me their trophy wife, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god. And the thing is, right? Because I think the issue, audio idea, harem protagonist confronted by her GF/partners who are unionizing for better conditions. Audio idea, harem protagonist realizes she's been a girl the whole time and it becomes a lesbian polycule instead of whatever weird stuff is usually going on. The thing is, right? I think when something like that, when like there's like trophy wife stuff and it's a man doing it, then it feels more compulsory, right? Like it's much more of a, this is the societally expected thing, and we're doing it because it's the societally expected thing or because it's being pushed by someone. Conversely, with, you know, stuff like saying, oh, that's my trophy wife or whatever, when it's being said by a woman or just honestly by someone who's not a man, or is just being said between queer people, it suddenly becomes less of a compulsory thing and more of a relationship dynamic that everyone is willingly partaking in, which makes it much better. Egg listener gets turned into a woman via changeling done meshy mushrooms and it awakens something in her. That is a long title, but um I think I'm gonna just put egg listener, and if that ends up winning, we can discuss whether it's going to be harem protagonist or done meshy. All right, there's one more slot left open for concepts for today. That reminds me that my issue with most romance is it is always the same relationship dynamic. That's kind of like real relationships, right? They take all sorts of shapes, you know? Um my oh, I'm cozy mode now. Like my partner and I have our relationship and it works well for us. Um I don't want to get too into it, but a real love triangle would be a polycule, that's true. As a fun fact, my partner is asexual. I'm not. I am incredibly, aggressively, egregiously not asexual. I am a spicy girly who gets up to some stuff. And we still, between the two of us, we make it work, right? We've had a lot of conversations about it. And at this point, like, we've reached a place where we're both comfortable and both happy with how the relationship works and the shape that it's taken, right? I love them so very, very, very much. And I don't think I will ever love anyone the same way that I love them. They let me flirt with other people all the time. They let me do things with other people all the time. And that's just how a relationship works because I personally am not someone who strongly associates doing things with someone with romance. I think those two things can be separated. And so I have a very strong romantic relationship with my partner. And then I have a lot of friends. And that's how our relationship works. And I think it's cool that it works. And I think it's cool that relationships can take so many shapes, right? I think it's cool that I can go to a bar with some friends, go stay at a hotel room for like 3 hours and get beat up by a pair of gorgeous lesbians, and then come home and snuggle my partner for the rest of the night. I think that's great. I think that's awesome. I think it works for us, right? And as long as everyone involved in a relationship of this kind is aware of it and is comfortable with it, then it's great. Like it just works if you're communicative. And I would love to see that in shows. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. um the thing that matters in a relationship is that people are being honest and communicative, right? If my partner ever told me that they were feeling uncomfortable or insecure in the relationship or that they needed some time or anything like that, I would stop doing anything with anyone else on the spot. And I would put every effort into making sure that they know and they remember that they are the most important person to me. And that's because we've had all these conversations and because we trust each other and we love each other. That's love. All right, any other ideas for the audio, or shall I just let the poll loose? Shall I just fire it off? All right, I'm gonna give it like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Have a poll, my lovelies. Place your votes. Place your votes. Yeah, I think love takes a lot of shapes, and it feels like so often we do see basically the same relationship on TV. Living art is an audio wherein you are a piece of art that I made, and you've come to life. It would probably be a lot of writing and brushing sounds, some paper handling, that sort of thing. But I think it would be very cool if in more of the stories we see. Oh, hello, Flower King VT. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome in, welcome in. How are you all doing today? What were you streaming? What were you doing? I hope you all had a lovely time. Hi there. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Flawless Faye. I am a recent addition to the Twitch ecosystem. Pokemon into some ASMR? I'm from YouTube. That's my native habitat. But I recently decided to start streaming as well. I do ASMR every Friday, as well as releasing pre-recorded ASMR on my YouTube channel several times a week. And currently I'm also in a playthrough of Demon Souls. I am, of course, a transgender woman, and if you're not cool with that, then I don't really care. I'll just kick you if you make issues, right? And I try to keep things pretty cozy and relaxed most of the time. We do some yapping, we do some gaming, we do some ASMR. Earlier we did a little puppy listener ASMR. We did a little role play where the we're all a puppy person at the vet, and I was doing some brushing and some rubber glove stuff around the mic. Looks like it's Lamia time. Okay. I need to think about this. I have some new. I have a new setup. I have a new pop filter on my mic. So I'm thinking, right? If I were to do like coiling around you, like this. I'm hoping that sounds good. I'm still used to working with this. That works well? Okay. Okay. I use a Blue Yeti. I got it on sale as like a special thing, so it's this cute like pink Blue Yeti microphone. Um, and then I have just a foam pop filter that I got off of Amazon over it. And it works pretty well for me. I'm thinking about saving up for a 3DO mic at some point. Because I really want, the mic that's got the classic like ear shape to it. I think that'd be fun. But I think the Blue Yeti is probably one of the best mics for a relatively new ASMR creator. Alright, so I am going to get a new background image real quick. And then we're going to do some Lamia stuff. I'm thinking I'm going to coil around you, and I'm maybe going to do some nice whispers. Okay? Some nice whispers sound good to me. Do you think an up-and-coming ASMR artist can make it using a headphone mic? Do you want to know the truth? Do you want to know? Do you want to know my secret? My first microphone, when I first started recording ASMR, was just the built-in mic on a cat ear headset that I happened to have. mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I used that for several months, actually, like maybe like my first half a year on YouTube. So absolutely, absolutely, you can. You have to use it in a different way, and as far as editing and post, if you want to have like a 3D aspect to it, you have to do that deliberately in post, but it works, right? Alright, let's get a cozy bedroom image. Oh, that looks pretty cozy. That also looks like a hotel. Or like some kind of clearly staged thing, but it does look nice. Let's make sure it's scaled properly. Lamia in a hotel. Okay. And we're gonna go image size. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. There we go. There we go. We're in a nice cozy room. Unfortunately, I don't have a version of my model that isn't a fairy and that isn't and that, has a snake tail. I might look into making some adjustments so that I can like toggle the wings on and off eventually, stuff like that. Just for variety. Might do the same with the horns. But individuals who watch ASMR in public on speaker? Speaker? I'm gonna be honest. I, in general, am opposed to people listening to or watching things on speaker in public. If I am on the bus, right, as someone who uses public transport, I don't need to hear your TikToks. I'm not watching them. I'm not the one watching them. I don't need them. If I am walking through the mall I don't need you to blast your music over a speaker you have in your backpack. I don't care about your music. Like, it's a public decency thing because you're now subjecting everyone else to the stuff that you're listening to, even if they maybe would much rather have some peace and quiet. So just wear headphones. That's my hot take for the day. Wear headphones, guys. Wear headphones, please. um I beg of you. Alright, I gotta get into character now. I gotta get into character. And I'm gonna have my last sip of coffee. Then I'm gonna get into character, okay? Oh. Straw noise. Okay. You know what? My posture is actually impeccable right now. Oh, good morning. How are you feeling today? You know, I really needed this vacation. It's just way, way, way too cold back home. I really, really do think we should just move somewhere tropical. Honestly, I feel like I might as well just hibernate through half the year back home. So, today's plan. Maybe we go hiking. There's that beautiful mountain nearby. And I'm just picturing myself sunning at the top. That sounds so nice. But maybe for now we can just have a nice lazy morning. Does that sound good to you? I'm glad to hear that, because I'm in the mood for some snuggles. Did you know that? It's true. I'm really, really in the mood for some snuggles. I love just holding you close and making you feel comfortable and safe. You know, I'm gonna be honest. I care about you a lot, but there are times where have you ever heard of the concept of cuteness aggression? The concept is pretty simple. All kinds of people feel it. It's this little thought you get where you look at something tiny and adorable and sweet and you think, wow, I could just squish ya. And when I have you all wrapped up like this, it does make me feel that way. Because you're just so small compared to me. And so sweet. And so trusting. Now, of course, you're right to trust me because I never actually would. But I do think about it sometimes, you know? You're just so precious. You're so sweet. I could just give you a little squeeze. A nice little squeeze. You're so warm. You're so warm and cozy, you know? Makes me want to just wrap up around you. Nice and cozy. And then just stay there all day. I probably could, you know. My metabolism isn't quite like yours, is it? But you gotta have breakfast, don't you? Such a shame. Such a shame. Or maybe I could just. Ugh. Possessed by evil spirits for a second there. Sorry, I just saw the way the model was twitching all of a sudden. We good now? Oh, we're good. Maybe I could just stay wrapped around you Mm-hmm. I mean, you're so small, right? Surely I could just keep you coiled up and carry you to the kitchen of this lovely little cabin we're staying at. And I could just take you there and then feed you by hand. And then carry you straight back here once breakfast is done. What do you think of that? Hmm? You feel so soft, so fragile, so squishy. Okay. Okay. If you're feeling really so hungry, then I guess you can have some breakfast. I guess I can stand to get out of bed. If you really, really want. If you really, really want. Maybe I'll just hold you for longer. Twitch does not like that pair of words. There we go. You're so lovely and cozy. There we are. Did you know? Did you know that in fact, technically speaking, all lamia are ever so slightly venomous? It's true. Of course, the quality of the venom is variable. For a python like me, well, it's hardly anything. But I know that it would make you so dizzy if I gave you a little bite. You would be so dizzy and so cute. Even cuter than you are right now. And then I'd get to take care of you. Mm-hmm. Don't worry. Don't worry, baby. I would never bite you. Unless, of course, you wanted me to. What do you think? Hmm? Do you want your thoughts to get all gooey? Do you want to get all clumsy and cute? Would you like that? Okay, but then I'm definitely going to have to feed you by hand. Because I don't think you'll be able to do it yourself then. Okay. Then I'll give you just one little bite right here. And maybe one more bite over here. Because you just tensed up so cutely when I did that. Alright. Now just let me hold you while the venom takes hold, okay? Take some nice deep breaths for me. In and out. In and out. You're so cute. You're so lovely. You really are. In and out. In and out. I'll take very, very good care of you. Okay? And once the venom wears off, then maybe we can go out on the town later, okay? Alright, my lovely. Alright. Yeah. Oh, you're drooling, baby. So cute. Ta-dum. Oh, mommy ASMR is so fun. Without extra context, it can be hard to figure out what ASMR triggers to use for it, but it's always so fun. Oh, you need another, do you? Okay. How? Mouth sounds are very fun. I do get a lot of tingles from mouth sounds. Those are kind of my two biggest ones. Mouth sounds and ear cleaning. Those are the things that always get to me. And they're just so fun to do. There really are certain parts of recording ASMR and audio roleplay that just feel very silly when you're doing them. You know, the fact that part of it with the mouth sounds means just like biting your hand in front of a microphone or or licking your wrist in front of a microphone. It feels so silly to do. But like it works, right? So God, I don't even know where I got I don't know where I got the idea for the elf ear cleaning stuff to have like cleaning the ear with the tongue. But that's like kind of gross if you think about it. But in the audios, it makes sense, and it's. I don't usually get tingles from my own stuff, but like. I think it was quality. I think that was some quality stuff. I'm always looking back on Elf GF, and I'm thinking, wow, what a great creator. I wish I could meet her someday. I wish I was as good as her. You created a cute lesbian outfit in Pokemon Sword and you can't recreate it in Scarlet? Yeah, that's kind of cringe. Alright, my lovelies. We've done our 2 audios for the day. So, I think it's around time that I should start looking for someone to raid out to. I have some housework that I have to get done before my partner gets home, so. Yeah, the licking stuff was a lie. That was just like my thing. I'm just really into ears. What can I say? I mean, Elf Neighbor does have a thing early on where she very much starts that story as kind of a chaser, yeah. I do gotta put on the maid dress, that's true. That's true. I just gotta take care of the dishes, that's all. Just gotta do some dishes. And maybe get stuff prepped for dinner tonight. So. Next week, we're looking at some more Demon Souls and some more ASMR. The schedule's probably going to be pretty consistent until Demon Souls is done. And then once that's finished, I'll do some adjustments as we move on to Dark Souls 1 and probably one other audio. What am I cooking today? Nothing too crazy. We got some, because my partner's vegetarian, so we went out grocery shopping together, and we got some fake chicken patties, and I usually like having some because I can make like fake chicken parm and little sandwiches with them. Yes. We will be doing every single FromSoft Souls-like. So Demon Souls, into Dark Souls 1, into Dark Souls 2, then Bloodborne, DS3, Sekiro, and Elden Ring. How would Bloodborne work? Well, I would stream my PlayStation, like I've been doing for Demon Souls. Fake chicken patties are so good. They are genuinely so yummy. Like I don't usually like fake meat, but fake chicken, that stuff kind of hits, like genuinely. As far as like meat substitutes go, fake chicken is the one that I was eating prior to dating my partner, because I'm not vegetarian. If we like go out to eat somewhere, I will eat meat. My partner's okay with me doing that. But when I'm cooking at home, I like cooking stuff that both of us can eat, you know? But like even before I started dating my partner, even before we started living together, I was still getting like fake chicken pretty regularly just because it's genuinely good. Like it's genuinely yummy. All right. Let's go see who we can say hi to today. Aww. Okay. We have some interesting things going on. I'm looking. I know we rated out to Mindful Mess like a couple weeks ago, but the stream title is I Am Rat, and I'm curious. I'm very curious about Rat. She's playing the Ratatouille video game. Okay, going from ASMR to this maybe seems a little bit like, are we okay with that? Are we okay with that, my lovelies? Going from ASMR to Ratatouille the game? I guess so. I guess we're doing this. I think we're going to say hi. Onwards. Onwards, my lovelies. To war. To rat. To rat. We go. We go to rat. Alright. Are we ready to rock? Let's go see that rat.